Yo, what's up? Hey man, say man, it's your boy KJ, the host of the SL podcast broadcast, sports language, give you the livest latest news, information on sports and events. And I'll put it to you like this. If you got an opinion on what I say, you can debate me about it. You disagree with what I say, you can debate me about it. Hold on. If you don't like what I said or say, debate me about it! Speaking of debating me about it, put it in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. I repeat, like, comment, subscribe, so you can get your latest news information from your boy KJ, the host of SL, the broadcast podcast, giving you the latest news on sports and events. Here we go. Listen, man. Ja Morant, man, he's struggling. Ja Morant, he's frustrated. Ja Morant, they're talking about trading him, but then that's a whole nother discussion. So let's get into the topic with your boy Ja Morant and his struggles and his frustration with possibly the NBA, but most definitely with Memphis Grizzlies and whether it be the GM, the coaching staff, or just a staff, period. So let's start from the beginning with facts. Ja Morant, second pick of the 2019 NBA draft, drafted to the Memphis Grizzlies, coming out of nowhere from Morant State. The last player that was good from Morant State was a lottery pick, which is a first round pick, period, was Cameron Payne. And he got drafted to OKC. Yeah, but Ja Morant, he has a, if you look it up, Ja Morant has an underdog story. He wasn't highly recruited. He comes from the same city, same state, South Carolina, just as Zion Williamson. He, like I said, wasn't really recruited at all until a Murray State college coach seen Ja Morant in practice, not even in the game, but in practice, and just playing around with the ball. And that's how he got his scholarship. He played at Murray State. He balled out. See the second pick. And, from the early 2020s, which is so crazy that I'm saying that because we on our way to 2026, but from the early 2020s, bro, Ja Morant was becoming that guy. He was becoming the face of the league. Like, at one point, he was seen to be the face of the league, such as the Jason Tatum, who became the face of the league, the Luka Doncic, who became the face of the league, the Donovan Mitchell, who somewhat became one of the faces of the league. Now, Victor Wembanyama, sorry, but Victor from the Spurs, 7-foot giant, who's now becoming the face of the league. Ja Morant, he's steady declining on that horizon of becoming the face of the league. We all know Ja Morant, you can say he was better than Zion Williamson his early years. Ja Morant, he became an all-star, second team all-NBA, made it to the second round of the NBA playoffs. You know how that turned with the whole Dylan Brooks fiasco with LeBron James, and they got knocked out. But Ja Morant even said, hey, I'm good in the West. So that's all Ja Morant, all-star, second team all-NBA, one of the best to do it. I won't say one of the best, but he was on his way of becoming one of the best in terms of the way he came into the league. Now let's get into opinion-wise about Ja Morant and his whole situation with him being frustrated and him saying what he said in the press conference, talking about talk to the coaching staff when they asked him about his poor performance. First off, Ja Morant was becoming one of my favorite players. Second off, you can't deny Ja Morant is a talented player. With the way he goes to the hoop, the way he goes to the lane. Ja Morant, some may say they remind him of a D Rose. I disagree. He reminds me of a John Wall. The way he goes to the hoop, the way he goes to the lane, layup. Now, I can see the whole D Rose comparison because of the whole posterizing or him trying to poster. But then some may say he reminds them of a Westbrook, which is true. The way Westbrook got off the ground, ferocious. But here's the difference. Westbrook, John Wall, D Rose, well, besides D Rose, they played consistently. They played games. They weren't sitting out games. Another difference is they didn't get in trouble for off-the-court fiascos or off-the-court stupidity that could have resulted in him hurting himself or hurting others. Here's what I mean by that. If you know now, Ja Morant was suspended for a couple of games because of what? Because of his actions. Because of actions with what? With the blicky. What? On camera. What? On Instagram. What? Probably because of that young boy influence. You see what I did there? Not to blame young boy, but Ja Morant was acting a fool, and we kind of first seen the glimpse of him trying to be like a tough guy. When AI was on the court, he wasn't trying to be tough. He was a basketball player that so happened to be tough, pumping his chest, letting him know, I'm gonna give you 40, 50. I may be little, but it's heart over height. but he wasn't trying to act tough. He wasn't trying to act gangster. Even Allen Iverson would say, bro, I'm not a gangster. I'm not a tough guy. I know what that's like living in the hood, in the projects. Or just living in the hood, period. I won't say the projects, but low income housing. When you see people like, what's another example? Who don't try to be tough, don't pretend to be tough. They just so happen to be tough while playing on the court. I say Allen Iverson. I say Ben Davis. I say, you could say Dennis Rodman. Like, it's a whole bunch of them guys that don't try to play this tough guy persona, this gangster persona. Larry Johnson, you know what I mean? But this dude, Ja Morant, and it was that Lakers game that year. Him, like, they went into Shannon Sharpe was even at the game, which is so funny. Like, dude was trying to act tough. Like, I can fight. Oh, I can fight. Like, what's up? Like, bro, if you really bought it, be bought it. You don't gotta do all that. You don't have to do all that. If you a man about yours, be a man about yours. I'm not coming out there as manhood. Just if you mean it, then do it. You ain't gotta speak it, unless you have to in a sense. But just know your place. Be respectful. If you gotta defend yourself, defend yourself. But then later on, this dude, for some reason, just say, I'm gonna go to a strip club. Now, there's no crime in going to a strip club, but it didn't went from a strip club to, well, I'm gonna go on Instagram Live. There's no crime in doing that, but it doesn't make you look good. I feel like what I'm about to say, without what he was finna do, which he ended up doing, he still probably would have got suspended because, or the team probably would have suspended him because after a loss, you in the club doing the most when you're supposed to get ready for a game. That makes you look bad as a player, as a leader, because you influencing the rest of the team. But then you put a gun in the video, acting tough. Ignorance. Why? I don't get it. Not only was it ignorant, but it could have possibly turned into self-harm. Especially like Ja Morant don't seem like he knows how to operate a gun. I'm just assuming. I could be wrong, but you got a gun in your hand. Who's to say that gun was illegally owned? Who's to say that gun could have went off, you blew your brains out? Who's to say you get into a fight, now you think you tough? Now if you pull it out, now you got to use it. The internet can play mind games. Oh, you ain't gonna really shoot it though. So now he reading off the internet comments. They saying he not gonna really shoot it. He get into a fight. Oh, watch how I pull out and bust. Pause. So then you got the situation with him getting suspended again. And you got to remember, Ja Morant is one of the leaders of that team. So he missed, I think it was one season, he missed out, 25 games? Like, back-to-back suspensions. Something that he could have handled by being a mature, grown man. Fast forward to him playing the way he plays. Everybody knows Ja Morant plays to the hoop. Everybody knows Ja Morant plays, like, would it be in transition? Would it be moving off the ball? Which he doesn't really does moving off the ball. But would it be he go tween? Would he be go spin and try to drive to the lane? He's always driving to the hoop, driving to the lane. What I like about Ja Morant, he's not scared to get off the ground. He reminds me of Paul George. I remember those early 2010s. He reminds me of the D Rose. He reminds me of John Wall. I miss those days where you get off the ground. There's no 3-point shooting. It's you get up off the ground. Okay? Like, that's the type of era of basketball I love. You jump up off the ground. Everybody can't be Steph Curry. Everybody can't be Ray Allen in that. At one point, Ray Allen was actually getting up off the ground. Like, he put pressure to the basket. And I miss those days when you get up off the ground type of basketball. Some may call it recklessly. Some may call it without hesitation. I would call it without hesitation. I wouldn't want to always call it reckless. But, it's kind of hindering his game, because now him trying to get up off the ground and play as if he's LeBron, or play as if he's, I want to say this is Michael Jordan or Westbrook, because what I'm about to say, somebody may disagree in the comment section, but essentially Ja Morant playing getting up off the ground type of ball, or jumping off the ground, or jumping out of the gym, or him trying to always drive to the basket is kind of hurting him, because you keep jumping to the lane, your ankles are at risk. You driving to the lane, you bump into a person, a foul, you may get the foul, but your thighs and knees are at risk because you slamming the ground hard. And so I think that's what's causing them to that's miss out on games. So you got stupidity, off the court drama, off the court, actions that's causing you to miss games, so that cause you to miss games. And then of course you got injuries. So now this upcoming season, or this season, they're 4-7. They're not playing as good. And in the locker room or the press conference, he's saying, ask the coaching staff after a abysmal playing, after horrible playing, after not having a great shooting game, shooting wise. Now you blaming the coaching staff. And I feel like I'm kind of like, it's like a double-edged sword with me. I feel like Ja Morant, I feel like the coaching staff probably said something or are doing something behind the scenes to where he's like, okay, y'all treating me like this, why should I want to play? Y'all treat me like this, why should y'all want me to play a certain way? Or the coaching staff or somebody must have said something to where he's trying to play his best abilities, but they coming at his neck. They not allowing him to be Ja Morant. So it goes from ask the coaching staff to the joy is not in it anymore. And listen, y'all may be like, so you getting paid a salary. Listen, man, you got to understand. Whether it be NBA, whether it be high price jobs, whether it be high paying jobs, whether it be corporate America or 9 to 5. Just imagine you going to work and your boss is doing things to treat you a certain way, but expect you to keep doing your job. But they treat you as one thing, yeah, you're always gonna take flack. We get it. You're always gonna have to deal with a manager. But if it's where to where you come on a common ground, as long as it's not being disrespectful or disrespecting your intelligence or your working capabilities or telling you to do this when you know your job was designed to do something else, then we can work. But if this manager or this coach is telling you to do these things that you know, for one, is not within your contract. For two, you're not being paid to do. For three, the disrespect, the why can't you do it like this? You need to do it like that, and you're not even helping. Or it might be something behind the scenes to where your manager, they have it out for you, whether it be pettiness, whether it be just disrespect, or they just don't like you for whatever reason. You may not want to perform for that manager as well. And that's the same thing with Ja Morant. I feel like something's happening in behind the scenes that we don't know, that Ja Morant is like, bro, y'all messing with me. Y'all not allowing me to play the style that I want to play. But then on the flip side of it, the coaching staff, Mr. Thomas, he's probably trying to get Ja Morant to understand you got to play a certain style because we need you. You're going to have to learn how to shoot more instead of drive to the hoop because you may hurt yourself. And now it's kind of exposing Ja Morant as a player that he's not that good of a shooter, which people always said that, but it was overlooked because he would drive to the lane, drive to the hoop, and, floaters, lay it up, or dunks. And I think Ja Morant, he needs to be more mature in terms of the way he talks about his organization and the team that he plays for. I'm not throwing my team under the bus, for one. For two, listen, people still are on you about what you did in the past, which I feel like they should not, I say overlook or forget it, but the way you carried yourself and how you got suspended in the first place. And for three, Ja Morant, his shooting percentage is not looking good, and everything is coming back to bite him. Those missed games, those off-the-court problems, and him saying, I'm good in the West, that is coming back to bite him, man. It is. And I think Ja Morant is going to have to learn how to evolve as a player mentally, but also physically in terms of taking better shots, in terms of working on his shots, in terms of just playing better ball, that you can't always drive to the hoop. And a YouTuber had brought that up, and it was like, I think that's what's happening. I think the coaching staff is like, bro, you got to play differently now, and he just can't adjust. But I hope he can, because they paying you too much money for you to not to adjust, bro. That's making you look bad. But if it's the coaching staff being disrespectful and doing things behind the scenes that we don't know about that's hindering him, then I can understand that as well, because Carmelo Anthony even made a good point on his podcast 7 p.m. in Brooklyn when he was in Denver. One of the main reasons why he wanted to leave Denver was because, bro, it's not working out. Whether it be they're not putting the right pieces around him, whether it be the coaching staff was disrespectful, whether it be they expect so much out of you, but you're not helping, like you're draining him. So I think it could be that, man. But Ja Morant, and it's sad, but it's sad that it's in public. I feel like certain things should be under wraps. Now I feel like, okay, people, the audience wise, we can see that there's some animosity or there's some scrutiny or there's some friction between them, but to bring it out or expose it yourself as a player or as an organization, that's not good, man. That makes you look bad. That makes your character look bad. Now another thing, Ja Morant's trade value isn't high. So even if the Grizzlies wanted to trade him, they can't, because what they're going to get from him. So that makes Ja Morant even look worse as a player, because your trade value isn't that high. You're Ja Morant. So, listen, man. Hey, man. It's your boy KJ, the host of the Broadcast Podcast, SO Sports Language, giving you the latest news information on sports and events. And I'll put it to you like this. If you got an opinion on what I say, or said, you can debate me about it. Do you disagree on what I say? Or said, you can debate me about it. Hold on. If you don't like what I say or said, debate me about it! Speaking of debate me about it, put it in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, so you get your latest news and information from your boy KJ, the host of the broadcast podcast SL Sports Language, and I'm out.